Hampstead, commonly known as Hampstead Village, is an area of London, England, 4 miles northwest of Charing Cross. Part of the London Borough of Camden in Inner London, it is known for its intellectual, liberal, artistic, musical and literary associations and for Hampstead Heath, a large, hilly expanse of parkland. It has some of the most expensive housing in the London area. The village of Hampstead has more millionaires within its boundaries than any other area of the United Kingdom. The corresponding ward is Hampstead Town. History, toponymy. The name comes from the Anglo-Saxon words ham and steed, which means, and is a cognate of, the modern English homestead. To 1900. Early records of Hampstead can be found in a grant by King Æthelred the Unready to the Monastery of St. Peter unregistered trademark S at Westminster, and it is referred to in the Domesday Book as being in the 100 of Asulstone. The growth of Hampstead is generally traced back to the 17th century. Trustees of the well started advertising the medicinal qualities of the chalybeate waters in 1700. Although Hampstead Wells was initially most successful and fashionable, its popularity declined in the 1800s due to competition with other fashionable London spas. The spa was demolished in 1882, although a water fountain was left behind. Hampstead started to expand following the opening of the North London Railway in the 1860s, and expanded further after the Charing Cross, Euston and Hampstead Railway opened in 1907 and provided fast travel to central London. Much luxurious housing was created during the 1870s and 1880s, in the area that is now the political ward of Frognal and Fight Zones. Much of this housing remains to this day. 20th century. In the 20th century, a number of notable buildings were created including, Hampstead Tube Station, the deepest station on the Underground network, Ashokan Building, Hillfield Court, 2 Willow Road, Swiss Cottage Central Library, Royal Free Hospital. Cultural attractions in the area include the Freud Museum, Keats House, Kenwood House, Fenton House, the Ashokan Building, Berg House, and the Camden Arts Centre. The large Victorian Hampstead Library and Town Hall was recently converted and extended as a creative industries centre. On August 14, 1975, Hampstead entered the UK with the records with the highest 155-minute total rainfall at 169 mm. As of November 2008, this record remains. Politics. Hampstead became part of the County of London in 1889 and in 1899 the Metropolitan Borough of Hampstead was formed. The Borough Town Hall on Haverstock Hill, which was also the location of the Register Office, can be seen in newsreel footage of many celebrity civil marriages. In 1965 the Metropolitan Borough was abolished and its area merged with that of the Metropolitan Borough of Holborn and the Metropolitan Borough of St Pancras to form the modern-day London Borough of Camden. Hampstead is part of the Hampstead and Kilburn constituency, formed at the 2010 general election. It was formerly part of the Hampstead and Highgate constituency, and since 1992 the Member of Parliament has been the former actress Glenda Jackson of the Labour Party. The area is also home to the left-wing Labour magazine Tribune and the satirical magazine The Hampstead Village Voice. The local paid-for newspaper is the Hampstead and Highgate Express, known locally as the Ham and High. Hampstead is also covered by the borough-wide Camden New Journal. Since May 2014 the area has been represented on Camden Council by Conservative Party councillors Tom Curry, Simon Marcus, and Stephen Stark. Hampstead liberalism. The area has a significant tradition of educated liberal humanism, often referred to as Hampstead liberalism. In the 1960s, a figure of the Hampstead liberal was notoriously satirised by Peter Simple of the Daily Telegraph in the character of Lady Duck Porker, an immensely wealthy aristocratic socialist whose Hampstead mansion, Marks Mount House, contained an original pair of Bukharin's false teeth on display alongside precious Ming vases, neo-constructivist art, and the complete writings of Stalin. Michael Adolph of The New Yorker stated that the community was the citadel of the moneyed liberal intelligentsia, posh but not stuffy. As applied to an individual, the term Hampstead liberal is not synonymous with Champagne socialist, but carries some of the same connotations. Places of interest. Sites. To the north and east of Hampstead, and separating it from Highgate, is London's largest ancient parkland, Hampstead Heath, which includes the well-known and legally protected view of the London skyline from Parliament Hill. The Heath, a major place for Londoners to walk and take the air, has 3 open-air public swimming ponds. One for men, one for women, and one for mixed bathing, which were originally reservoirs for drinking water and the sources of the River Fleet. The bridge pictured is known locally as the Red Arches or the Viaduct, built in fruitless anticipation of residential building on the Heath in the 19th century. Local activities include major open-air concerts on summer Saturday evenings on the slopes below Kenwood House, book and poetry readings, fun fairs on the lower reaches of the Heath, period harpsichord recitals at Fenton House, Hampstead Scientific Society and Hampstead Photographic Society. The largest employer in Hampstead is the Royal Free Hospital, Pond Street, but many small businesses based in the area have international significance. George Martin's AIR Recording Studios, in converted church premises in Lyndhurst Road, is a current example, as Jim Henson's Creature Shop was, before it relocated to California. The area has some remarkable architecture, such as the Asokan Building in Lawn Road, a Grade I listed experiment in collective housing, once home to Agatha Christie, Henry Moore, Ben Nicholson and Walter Gropius. It was recently restored by Notting Hill Housing Trust. Churches and synagogues, Christ Church Euro Hampstead Square, NW31 AB Street Andrews United Reformed Church, Frognall Lane, NW37 Y Street John at Hampstead Euro Church Row, NW36 UU Street Johns Downshire Hill Euro Downshire Hill, NW31 NU Street Luceza Euro Kaiderpore Avenue, NW37 SU Street Mary's Church Euro 4 Holly Place, NW36 QU, Roslyn Hill Unitarian Chapel, Pilgrims Place, NW31NG, Village Shul, Hampstead's only synagogue, founded in 2006 and occupying the former New End Theatre. Museums, Fenton Hosea Euro Hampstead Grove, Hampstead, London, NW36SP, Freud Museum Euro 20 Mauricefield Gardens, Hampstead, London, NW35SX, Berg House and Hampstead Museum Euro New End Square, Hampstead, London, NW31 Lieutenant Keats House Museum Euro Keats Grove, Hampstead, London, NW32R, Kenwood Hosea Euro Hampstead Lane, Hampstead, London, NW37 Junior Theatres and Cinemas, Everyman Cinema Euro 5 Hollybush Vale, Hampstead, London, NW36TX, Hampstead Theatria Euro Eaton Avenue, Swiss Cottage, London, NW33EU, New End Theatria. A Euro 27 New End, Hampstead, London, NW31JD, closed in 2011, Pentameters Theatria Euro 28 Heath Street, Hampstead, London, NW36TE, Public Houses. Hampstead is well known for its traditional pubs, such as the Holly Bush, gaslit until recently. The Spaniards Inn, Spaniards Road, where highwayman Dick Turpin took refuge. The Old Bull and Bush in North End. And the Old White Bear. Jack Straw's Castle on the edge of the Heath near Whitestone Pond at the brow of the Heath has now been converted into residential flats. Others include, the Flasker Euro 14 Flask Walk, Hampstead, London, NW31HE, Freemasons Arms Euro 32 Downshire Hill, Hampstead, London, NW31NT, the Duke of Hamilton Euro 23 Euro 25 New End, Hampstead, London, NW31JD, the Horseshoe Euro 28 Heath Street, Hampstead, London, NW36TE, King William Ivor Euro 77 Hampstead High Street, Hampstead, London, NW31RE, the Magdala Euro 2 is South Hill Park, Hampstead, London, NW32SB, the Garden Gatia Euro 14 Southend Road, Hampstead, London, NW32QE, Restaurants. Hampstead has an eclectic mix of restaurants ranging from French to Thai. Notable and long-standing are La Gaffe, Gaucho Grill, Jing Kitchi, Tip Top Thai, La Celia du Midi and Crimea Jewel. After over a decade of controversy and legal action from local residents, McDonald's was finally allowed to open in Hampstead in 1992, after winning its right in court, and agreeing to a previously unprecedented redesign of the shop front, reducing the conspicuousness of its facade and logo, but closed in November 2013. Schools. Film locations. Hampstead's rural feel lends itself for use on film. A notable example being The Killing of Sister George starring Beryl Reid and Susanna York. The opening sequence has Reid's character June wandering through the streets and alleyways of Hampstead, west of Heath Street, around the Mount Square. The Marquis of Granby pub, in which June drinks at the opening of the film, was actually the Holly Bush, at 22 Holly Mount. Another example is The Collector, starring Terence Stamp and Samantha Eggar, where the kidnap sequence is set in Mount Vernon. The 1986 fantasy film Labyrinth, starring Jennifer Connelly and David Bowie, was shot, in large part, in Hampstead Heath. Some scenes from An American Werewolf in London are shot on Hampstead Heath, Well Walk and Haverstock Hill. Harry and Judith are killed in Hampstead Heath, behind the Priors on East Heath Road. Before David kills them, Harry and Judith get out of the taxi on East Heath Road at Well Walk. More recently, Kenwood House is the set of the film within the film scene of Notting Hill. Outdoor scenes in The Wedding Date, starring Deborah Messing, feature Parliament Hill fields on the Heath, overlooking West London. Parliament Hill also features in Notes on a Scandal together with the nearby areas of Gospel Oak and Camden Town. Four Weddings and a Funeral features the old Hampstead Town Hall on Haverstock Hill. The cult film Scenes of a Sexual Nature was filmed entirely on Hampstead Heath, covering various picturesque locations such as the Floating Gardens and Kenwood House. A musical specifically focusing on the area, Les Bicyclettes de Belsize, tells the story of a young man's cycle journey around Hampstead. After crashing into a billboard poster, he falls in love with the fashion model depicted on it. Transport. Hampstead has a major bus terminus known as Hampstead Heath located in Southend Green. Its most frequent service is Route 24, which for over 100 years has linked this area with the West End, Victoria and Grosvenor Road in Pimlico. Bus routes that currently serve Hampstead are 24, 46, 168, 210, 268, 603, C11 and N5. Nearest tube stations. The nearest London Underground stations are Hampstead and Belsize Park on the Northern Line and Swiss Cottage and Finchley Road on the Jubilee Line. The stations are within Travelcard Zone 2. Hampstead is the boundary with Travelcard Zone 3. Construction of North End Tube Station was started but not completed. Nearest railway station, Hampstead Heath Railway Station is situated by Southend Green, while Finchley Road and Frognall Station is on the western side of Hampstead. Both stations are part of the London Overground network. Nearest hospital, Royal Free Hospital. Nearest places, notable residents. Hampstead has long been known as a residence of the intelligentsia, including writers, composers, ballerinas and intellectuals, actors, artists and architects, many of whom created a bohemian community in the late 19th century. After 1917, and again in the 1930s, it became base to a community of avant-garde artists and writers and was host to a number of copyright migrant copyrights and exiles from the Russian Revolution and Nazi Europe. Blue plaques. There are at least 60 English heritage blue plaques in Hampstead commemorating the many diverse personalities that have lived there. Cultural references. Hampstead is referred to in the song Young Conservatives by the Kinks and in Cross-Eyed Mary, and A Small Cigar by Jethro Tull. Hampstead is referenced in a Monty Python sketch where a famous playwright sarcastically remarks to his son, "Hampstead wasn't good enough for you, eh? You had to go Ponson off to Barnsley." Hampstead is referred to in the Bollywood film Desi Boys. Hampstead is the fictional location of Lucy Westenra's tomb in Bram Stoker's novel Dracula. Lucy lured children to Hampstead Heath at night to drink their blood. During the course of their investigation, Drs. Van Helsing and Swa dined at Jack Straw's castle and caught a cab near Spaniards Inn. In Charles Dickens' comic novel The Pickwick Papers, Pickwick writes a scientific paper speculations on the source of Hampstead Ponds, referring to the ponds on Hampstead Heath. Hampstead is mentioned in the title of the book Black Swine in the Sewers of Hampstead by Thomas Boyle. The book, published in 1990, examines the development of sensationalism and the reporting of crime in the popular press and literature of mid-Victorian Britain, and its nature and causes. In the Pretenders' song Middle of the Road, Chrissie Hynde sings, "Past corrugated tin shacks hold up with kids, man, I don't mean a Hampstead nursery." Local newspapers. The local newspapers, as of 2014, are the Free Camden New Journal and the Hampstead and Highgate Express. See also: The Bishop's Avenue. References and notes. External links: Hampstead Village Online, Comprehensive Hampstead Section, London's Literary Village, Hampstead and Marylebone by G. E. Mitten at Project Gutenberg, the Heath and Hampstead Society, the Hampstead Scientific Society, the Hampstead Horticultural Society, Camden Council, Hampstead Theatre, the Village Shul, London Hampstead Travel Guide from Wyke Voyage, archives relating to Hampstead at the National Archives, images of Hampstead at the English Heritage Archive, images of Hampstead at the Country Life Picture Library.